Hello and welcome to Demon Interviews, episode 180. I'm slowly losing my breath from Jean's fucking triangle. Um, I'm your host, as always, Springy, dying of suffocation. And joining us today is a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Glow of Glowlock L fame.
Woo! Well, first question, just gonna get right on into it. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
I understand that completely. Um, So I know you told me this before we started recording, but for the people out there, have you ever been interviewed like this before?
Yeah, I've done a couple of interviews for YouTube channels, companies, other things, stuff like that. I'm good at interviews.
Yay! Perfect. I don't have to say my line this time. Um,
Oh, now I want to know what it is, though.
it's just we are happy to introduce you to the world of interviewing.
Oh, yeah, no, I've done this before.
It'd be like an info if I ever edited things, it'd be an infographic of like a rainbow, like we're on SpongeBob.
Yes,
Um,
ideal.
so I swear if I could just cut this off. I'm sorry. I don't mean to just be complaining the whole time. It's just I
You're
haven't
so
worn this
good.
in forever, and that's always been my problem. Um, First question is: would you rather eat Cheetos or go on a hike?
Uh, the Cheetos only. I don't walk. That's not my thing. I can, but I don't.
Yeah, yeah. Um, People can assume that from either knowing your content, knowing our content when we aren't doing a month of not having anything come out because nobody answers me. Uh, uh, that you're a cosplayer. This is not your normal outfit
I
of
wear this
every other
every
day.
day, actually. I look like this every day.
Yes,
And
totally.
no one can. Yeah, and so if you think you see me out in the wild, you don't.
You know,
You don't. It's
no,
not me.
I'm an illusion. You never see me. Uh, so do you have any other cosplays planned to do that you're willing to tell us about without me giving you a small fee of $5?
Okay, yes. So I am working on a couple of different things right now. I am almost finished with and by finished with I mean my wig is lost to the ether and hopefully UPS will get it back to me someday.
Mm-hmm.
But I once that gets here I will be able to do Neapolitan from Ruby, my absolute favorite. I love her so much. And then I'm also working on a friend and I are working on actually doing some Shakespeare cosplays. So I'm working on my Ophelia, and it's not just like flat Shakespeare. It's got some other stuff to it, but I don't want to kind of give that away until we've got it all put out there because we're actually borrowing a concept from a friend of ours who had a concept for a production of Hamlet, and so the two of us are working on Hamlet and Ophelia, and I think they're also going to do Laertes for me as well, which I'm always like, yes, thank you, I will take it.
Yes.
Um, Other things that I am in the middle of, I don't know that there's a lot new on my plate. I am going to be revamping my Nancy Wheeler from Stranger Things.
Mm.
That I just was not happy with how I did it the last time, and
Mm-hmm.
I have access to more things, and I'm going to fix the wig better this time. So that's kind of my next. Those are my like next three big plans. Also, I have everything to cosplay Cody Walsh from Dimension 20's of the Unsleeping City, and I just haven't done it yet because I'm
Mm.
tired all the time. So those are all in the works.
Awesome. Awesome. I only have one word in my vocabulary. I'm very sorry.
You're good.
But so I'm very excited to see all of those. Many of the ones I recognize. Uh, because yeah. But next question, sorry, brain fart, is going to be so on the interwebs, you go by, hopefully I'm saying this correctly, Glow Lockout?
Yep.
Okay. Yay. Why did you choose that as your username on the platforms of everything?
So some of it is just absolute nonsense. And I actually not currently in the next year or two. I'm actually planning on, I guess I will just say this, I'm planning on maybe moving away from Glowlock as a brand, and moving towards some new stuff. But I haven't, that's not set in stone yet. For now, it really just kind of, it was one of those things that it kind of came together from a couple of different places, and then uh yeah, there's like not like a lot of meaning or anything behind it. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just appear.
Yeah. And so eventually uh I will have rebranded, but not today.
Not today. Ah, golly. So now I'd say it's their stereotypical YouTube thing of don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Sorry, I thought somebody was saying something on the other side of that door. And don't forget to follow lovely guests on all the social media platforms. There'll be a way to get to all of them in the description below. Hopefully, I'll keep them updated if they ever get changed. In case you're watching this in the future. I think I will. And yeah, don't forget to do all that fun things. Yeah. Um, so, but what were they thinking with this triangle?
It's a
All they
poor
added,
design choice. It's,
like,
I'm not gonna lie.
wasn't it like for volume three? I know tangent. I'm sorry. I'm dying of everything. Like, wasn't it like same chest plate, but then they just added this weird
Yeah,
stabby thing?
they did. And that feels just like mechanically bad. That feels like
Run,
that's
trip,
going,
and
someone's, yeah, no, that's not gonna end well. I can only imagine, but it's
yeah,
fine.
I can totally breathe. Um, Anywho, I'm gonna try and just ignore it. I promise. So what is one of the hardest things about getting into one of your cosplays in general?
So honestly, like for me, it takes like it just takes like a lot of like time and energy. Anyone
Mhm.
who like knows who I am, in like even the vaguest sense knows that I'm disabled. I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user. And like I just get tired. And like there's been a couple of things. Oh, that's another thing that I am, it's not new, but I am bringing back from like 2018 or 2019 my
Mhm.
Doki Doki Literature Club cosplays, and I've been meaning to do that for like a week and a half. I have everything here. I'm ready to go. And I'm just it's exhausting.
Mhm.
Like the yeah, no, I filmed videos the other day in Lake Belladonna, and because of I recently moved to a new apartment, so I'm still kind of establishing my setup here. I was out on our balcony filming, but I didn't want to take my wheelchair out there because there was snow out there, and so I did all my videos standing up, and that was hell. Oh my God, it was hell. I the next day I felt awful. So that's kind of the biggest thing for me is finding a balance between being able to like get into cosplay and film videos and create content because that is literally my job,
Mhm.
and taking care of my like physical health, which is constantly going down the toilet.
I'm just that makes sense because a lot of that just also sounds like having the like needing the because for me at least, the motivation to actually get into it. Because like I
Mhm.
said, I haven't put this on or really any cosplay in like months.
Yeah, yeah. It does help that like I do really love making my silly little videos on TikTok. Again, this is my job. I do this for a living. So,
Mhm.
that's helpful. And also it's something that I really love to do. But yeah, it is just like exhausting. And there are days that like I really want to be able to like get up and get into cosplay. And I just can't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Well, my next question is going to be, have you ever attended any conventions before?
Yeah, I was I went to quite a few conventions. I think my first ever was Anime Festival Orlando
Ooh.
when I lived in Florida. Uh and that would have been in 2018, I think. And I've been to quite a few since I'm now in the Chicago area, so I've been to a bunch of the Chicagoland conventions, and I haven't been back since COVID. If you're going to cons, wear your mask because that makes some of us feel safer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to hopefully going to some eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a while. I loved conventions though. I used to go to a bunch of them.
Awesome. Yeah. Whenever I was like planning cosplays, I was like, I'm also planning what mask to wear if I ever go out with
Yeah,
them.
I'm a really big fan of getting different colors of KN95s.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I think they're so cute. I match them with my like regular everyday outfits also.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I'm planning cosplays to be like, oh, maybe I'll bring this to a con eventually. I'm thinking about like, okay, I know I can get I'd love to take Blake to a con someday. And I'm like, okay, I know I have dark purple KN95s.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I know a lot of conventions say like, oh, we're recommending masks, and I'm like, how recommending are you?
Yeah.
Because like if people aren't wearing masks, it's not safe for me, and
Yeah.
that like really sucks. So I'm doing my part to say wear your mask if you go to conventions to everyone
Yes.
here.
Yes. I would do the same thing, but triangle. Um, Monica Escapose.
Somebody recently told me they thought one of my penny videos was Monica before I like zoomed out. I was like, you know what? Fair.
Yeah, fair. But
Understandable.
yeah. But next question. It's a very serious, very hard-hitting question. Very long, very complicated. It's coming from a past guest, a Mr. Zoom underscore 2028.
Oh, incredible.
Bacon? Question mark.
Obviously. Yeah,
Right
no,
answer, of course.
obviously. I know
So
I know we've all moved past the like 2016 like bacon is hilarious thing, but it's delicious and I love it.
yes, yes, I agree. Well, the next question, coming from the same past guest, an even longer, more complicated question.
Okay.
Peanut butter? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm a Reese's piece or Reese's peanut butter cup bitch. I love those little guys.
Yeah,
Peanut butter's good. I support peanut butter.
perfect. Peanut butter's good. I agree. Now, the next question, not coming from past guest, but we'll be referring to the two before bacon and peanut butter.
No, I
No,
know. No,
no,
I hate
no,
it here.
no, just no.
Absolutely not. No.
It's actually not as bad as you think. I had to try it because I had peanut butter, I had bacon. I actually filmed myself, and it's not bad, but it's also like I'm not eating it. I don't have a jar of peanut butter next to me whenever I'm having bacon. You know.
No, I'm a person. I don't even like to like people will have like pancakes and bacon and they dip their bacon in syrup. No, leave it
Mm-hmm.
alone. It's perfect
Yeah,
the way it is.
bacon is bacon. Bacon's good.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, the next question, moving away from food. is going to be, what is one thing you regret doing on camera, coming from one of our fans on Instagram, hopefully still, a Charlie underscore Aronson 99.
Uh, there's not a lot that I like regret doing on camera. I think there are I don't even know if I would say I regret this. There was a video I posted just over a year ago now, probably. I'm trying to think of how short my hair was at the time and like place that in the timeline of my life. Yeah, I think it was about a year ago. That was really just a very harmless video. It was a stitch of a video that somebody had said, like, oh, here's something that can give you the same like good feeling as ice cream. It's walking. And then I stitched it to me zooming back in my wheelchair, and I took a pint of ice cream out of my cup holder and started eating the ice cream because I thought that was funny. That's hilarious. And
I
people were
agree.
really mean to me. Everyone
Aww.
was very mean. And like I got death threats over that video. So like I kind of do regret posting that, but also yeah, I got like threats of violence and death threats from that video. Uh, but there's not a lot like do I regret climbing in through my living room window 2 weeks ago and wiping out on the living room floor? I regret doing that. Do I regret that it's on camera and on TikTok? Absolutely not. That's hilarious.
I agree. I concur.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the things that I've put out into the world. I think they're fine. I think some of the old stuff, because I've been around since the Musically days of
Sames.
TikTok. So like there's stuff from my old Musicallys that I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, cringe. But also like I don't regret putting that out there. And if it's something that I genuinely don't want on the internet anymore, like I'll simply set it to private and it's
Yeah,
fine. But yeah, I feel pretty okay with the stuff I've kind of put out there.
perfect. Well, the next question is going to be, who is one of your biggest cosplay inspiration or inspirations, if you have multiple?
Genuinely, honestly, it is like my very close friends. Like I there are some amazing cosplayers in the world, but I don't know them. And
Mhm.
that makes it sound like my friends aren't amazing cosplayers. There are. They're separate and amazing, but there are like the amazing cosplayers out there that like I don't know.
Mhm.
They're really good and that's great. But like the things that inspire me to do cosplay is like one of my friends saying, "Oh, hey, if you get back into Loop from the Adventure Zone, I'll get back into Berry Blue Jeans." I was like, "Yes, I'm running to do that right now."
Mhm.
Things like I have one of my best friends is possibly working on putting together a Weiss cosplay, and I'm like, "Yes." Amazing. Come to my house and we will shoot monochrome pictures. Like, let's do it. That's
Yeah,
like the stuff that like makes me want to work harder and make things better, and it's the people that like I really like love and care about. So yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you see me looking off to the side, it's either there's a cat in my room now, or I'm looking at my phone for at the questions. It's one of the two. They're cat or questions. So speaking of pets, would you keep a pet zombie or would you kill it?
That sounds dangerous. So I you're going, buddy. I don't think I've never really had a pet. I've lived with other people's pets, but I've never had a pet. So I have no sad feelings. You're gone.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, let me check now. See if they could just show me how much time we've been recording, that would be appreciative.
Yeah,
I think we've been recording for 20 minutes now or so.
something
So,
like that.
give or take. I'm trying to make sure it's not like we've been filming for 3 hours. Your meeting will end in 10 minutes.
Well, there you have it.
Either
That's
that
Zoom
or we're
for
gonna
you.
be go shove these in two, just gonna stitch them together because that's how Zoom is fun.
Yeah.
Um Me. The next question is going to be coming from a past guest, a Dark Nina the Gone. Who would you be in a horror movie? Like, what stereotypical type of person would you be? Would you know be the final survivor, the killer, first to be
Yeah,
deaths?
there's two options here.
Hmm.
One is like very final girl archetype. Like I wanna be there covered in blood, screaming, and but get out alive. Or uh the person that they're like, oh yeah, this person's definitely on our side and not evil. um
Yeah,
that's what I want to do. I want to ruin everyone's lives. uh and just, yeah, that's kind of that's kind of my vibe. If I had the choice, I'd be one of those two.
perfect, perfect. Well, who's your favorite character to cosplay as, or multiple if you have multiple?
Oh, there's so many that like I've done over time. um I've currently been feeling very like emotional getting back into like Belladonna, just because I was really into Ruby like back in like high school and college, like all through college.
Hmm.
And and then I just kind of fell off of it around I think it was after volume 6. I just kind of like didn't keep watching. And
Yeah.
then um in the last couple of months I had said to my best friend, I said, hey, I think you would really like this. Like, let's watch it together. And so we watched it together, and like, I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen the last two volumes. I didn't know it wasn't over. I thought it was over. Not gonna lie. And so I was like, I haven't seen the last two volumes. Like, so we'll catch up together. And now I'm just like right back in it. But I'm thinking back to, because Blake was one of my first ever like legitimate cosplays.
Hmm.
And so it's really exciting to see the growth within the last like 5-6 years
Yeah.
that I've had. So that I've been having a lot of fun um getting to do. I love Sam Nightingale from uh Dimension 20's a seven, the seven, also Dimension 20's Fantasy High. That
Hmm.
I always really enjoy. And then I have not gotten into this cosplay in a hot minute, but I'm really proud of the work that I did on uh Dimension 20's Star Trek Odyssey, Sundry Sydney. Um,
Hmm.
I had never built any kind of armor or props before, and I made a whole gun arm, and it like turned out really good. And I'm really proud of how that cosplay came out. So that's one of my favorites that like I've kind of put together. Um yeah, I think I don't know, I do so many. I'm like, yeah, the I love cosplaying Robin from Stranger Things, and
Hmm.
the Ilwyn and Adine Abernant from Fantasy High are always going to be my girls. If I had a nickel for every time I got popular on TikTok for cosplaying both halves of a pair of blonde elven siblings, insert the rest of the similarities between them, I'd have two nickels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, since I have a lot more questions, and it's only 5 minutes before the timer goes out, I'm just gonna say cut, and then we're gonna continue with a new link,
Yeah, that's
if
fine.
that's fine with you. So we'll be back in a minute. Yeah. Part two, technically, or transition. Yay. Uh, I took off my choker. Uh, to carry on, we actually only have like a few more questions left. We don't have a giant amount. So who from TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth, would you ever like to do a collaboration with in real life who you haven't done one with before?
Oh my goodness, I have to like call people out now.
Yes.
Um I'm trying to think of people that I like haven't worked with before. The thing is like I know people by their faces and not their like usernames.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even say Mac anymore because now we've finally been in the same place and made things together. No, that's so hard because genuinely, like a lot of people I know them by their face and not their name, and I feel so bad. Every Yang Xiaolong cosplayer ever come to my house and let me film Bumblebee content with you, please.
Yes.
That's all I want. That's actually, yeah, that's it. If you're a Yang Xiaolong cosplayer,
Oh, we end the video.
get here right now.
Yes. Perfect.
DM me.
All of them. All of them
All
at
of them.
once.
Yes, that's fine. And one of them will hopefully be located in a similar area as me, and then we'll hang out. It'll be great. And we'll look back one day and be like, wow, that's how we became friends.
Yes. Perfect. Now, that was just perfect. Just have 12 and so next question is going to be coming from a past guest, a Ultra Geek cosplay. Pepsi or Coke? Or both or neither or
usually Coke. But I don't mind either way. Like some people are very particular about it, and I'm fine with either way. But I usually end up drinking Coke just because that's what like my dad drinks. So I'm like, it's what I grew up kind of having in the house.
same. I get it. So one more on the list, and then shockingly, there's more. So have you ever created any cosplays because somebody suggested it to you, or anything along those lines? Either somebody in a comment section, a friend suggested it to you, or anything like that?
Not until really recently. I've definitely like I've worked with friends and been like, oh, let's do this and this. But until very recently, like I pretty much didn't like I make what I want to make. And but a couple of people told me on different videos of mine that I should cosplay Vicky from Stranger Things. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. And a couple of people were like, oh, you look like her, whatever. So I ended up cosplaying Vicky and I really liked it. And so I'm working on kind of improving that at the moment as well to be able to do some more stuff with her. But that's the only one that I've really ever done. That, yeah, I think that's about it. I have a couple of other. The longer I keep talking, the more I'm thinking of like cosplay like plans that I have. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was going to do that too. That like I was talking to some of my friends and I was like, hey, if we should get the whole all three Schnee siblings. Like yeah, like if you one of my friends has not even gotten to that point in the series and I'm like, yes, you are a little guy and I would like you to cosplay Whitley for me. And he's like, okay, I will. It's like, great, I will work on getting my hands on Winter. Like I will figure this out. And
Please.
like it's usually stuff like that. I love Winter so much. I'm very excited to eventually do that. But yeah, it's usually less of like people suggesting it in my comments and stuff like that, and more of like specifically like making plans with friends to be like, oh, let's do this together.
Now. Okay. So just so you know why I got like, oh my god, perfect type of thing about that is that we do like a side thing about like called like character interviews because that's I'm not creative about all the names I've ever done where me as a person interviews cosplayers as those characters.
Oh, cute.
And recently I've been I've been wanting to do a Schnee family one. So I'm
Oh my
like, and it
God.
is so hard to find Whitleys and Winters. I'm like,
Yeah, I have no doubt. Yeah, everybody wants to be Weiss. Nobody wants to be the shitty ones. But I love the shitty ones. I'm like going off on a tangent. I truly, genuinely, I was like, like Willie sucks. He's terrible. And then I started being like, haha, he's terrible, but he's a shitty little twink, and I love him. And now I'm like, I love him so much. he's he's such a little asshole, and I love him.
yes,
So fingers crossed that will eventually happen.
yes. And I will be DMing you immediately after something
Absolutely.
gets posted and be like, please
I look
do
forward to
this.
it.
I already have the questions written down. I just need to but so end of list questions. Now there's four more, shockingly. Also uh don't forget to follow our lovely guests on all the social medias that are in the description. There, I assume to be a way to get to all of them one way or another. See, like now I can't actually do that without double choking myself. Perfect. Um, so the first question is, do you have any questions for me as an individual or about the show in general?
um you said this is episode 180. That's absolutely wild. When did this like start? How long has this been going?
A while. Uh, uh, what year was it? It was like late 2019, I believe. It was
Okay.
like right before COVID.
Very cool. Yeah.
Uh, I think, or was it the year before it is when it started? It was something like that. We've been going for a while. And yeah, we did Demon Interviews, which is the main thing. There's Demon Media, which they're all the same channel. I'm not one of those channels. Where like, we have 6 channels, all just talking about the same thing. Demon Media, which is basically just like catching up on shows, video games. Sometimes we do gameplay on it, not often, but me and a friend was going through Doki Doki Literature Club, and then they got busy, so like we're like in the middle of like the primary plot,
Oh no.
like of like the first section of it.
Not act one. Oh, it takes so long.
It's a lot, and like we were doing voices too, and I was like, we were actually reading it in
Yeah,
voices.
I'm
And
currently in a playthrough with my best friend, and our I we have the best voices. I'm not gonna lie, we're the best at it
yeah,
out of everyone.
totally, yeah.
And
What do you
yeah,
mean? This is
no,
what Natsuki sounds like.
we've made it through the entire game once, and now we're like speed running through to see all of the scenes that we haven't seen yet, and be able to unlock the side stories and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't even seen any of them yet because like me and my friend were like, we're not going to look at any of the plus stuff until we finish it and we experience together. That was
yeah,
2 years ago or like a year ago. It's like,
they're
now
very
I kind of
cute.
want to see it. It sounds cute, not gonna lie.
Mhm. They're good.
Um, but and Demon Reviews, which is just reviewing cosplay items, like
Oh,
if you
cool.
bought something and stuff like that, like how I bought this armor, I reviewed it and all the pieces that came with it. Um, Sword and the Shield. Okay, shockingly, the gold on here, the gold on the sword, and the gold from my gloves, which I made, are all very similar golds,
Oh, hell yeah.
made from 3 different people, me and 2 other people. I'm
Yeah.
like, how? And I used like a golden solo cup for the armor on the hands. I'm like, how did I get that so perfectly? Magic. But and then cause the character interviews, which I already talked about, we've done lots of Ruby. Because it's easy to section him off. It's easy.
Yeah.
Ironically, have we done a Penny yet? No, we haven't.
Absolutely unacceptable.
I know,
She's
right?
best girl.
Like, like we did Ruby, Juniper, we did like the fucking living Rose family.
Oh,
Um, we've done like so many, and like I don't know how I just realized, and I know like
Simply have a nuts and
how.
bolts episode. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, that could work. I do need to find a Ruby though. Need to find new Ruby. I don't know. But anywho, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different mindset. Um, but we've also done Doki Doki Literature Club. That's actually our most viewed video.
Oh, cool.
Um, God, the opening to that was so weird. I was laughing through all of it. We've also done Common Writer. We've done. I think that's it. We've done a lot of Ruby ones mainly. Oh no, we also did Finance Phase one. As I'm looking at a poster of Freddy
Incredible.
Fazbear on my wall.
Amazing.
We had a Toy Bonnie, Purple Guy, and then Purple Gal, which it's OCs, but that's fine. But it was a fun episode. But yeah, that's all the main things we do on the channel in general, because it's like we made the character interviews so people have a reason to cosplay in case they don't do the tickety tocketies,
Yeah.
because during the pandemic and all that fun stuff. Um, yeah. Is there any other questions for me as an individual or about the show in general?
I think I've got a pretty good sense of it. It's very cool. I love that.
Yes. Perfect. So next, now we're on the final three questions. I promise I won't say it every single time. Um, would you ever want to return to the show in the future?
Absolutely.
Schedules
This has
allowing.
been yeah, no, it's been lovely. I like I said, I've done interviews like this before. I used to be a part of a the Adventure Zone
Mhm.
cosplay group that we would do like in character Skype calls. So like I'm very familiar with that. I've played D&D, so I'm very familiar with that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
same.
it's been lovely.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good thing because you're already scheduled for 18 more things today. So get ready to turn to 18 different characters. Go. Um,
Oh God.
but the next question is, do you have any suggestions for future guests for who should be on the show in the future? There we go. Wording.
Um, I'm always shit. And once again, I've forgotten everyone I know in the entire world. I you know who would be great at this? And now OJ. Hey OJ, what's your I believe his at is Vo Phantasma, VAUX.
Oh,
Yeah. Is he does a lot of Dimension 20 cosplays. Very talented. Yeah, that's my pick.
perfect. 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 Well, do you have any questions for any future guests?
um what uh what soup is your brain?
Yes.
I made a whole
That's
U quiz one time about what soup is in your brain, and I would like to know what everyone's brain soup is. Mine is
perfect.
strawberry bisque.
Yes. Perfect. Well, I'll write that down on the list. And
Amazing.
yeah, and well, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for
I
having
highly
me.
appreciate it. Well, of course, I'm very happy you answered. I have so many people who just haven't answered me. But to be honest, my message looks very scammy. I swear. I know it does. But
I'm
like
just used to it at this point. I'm like, I know how this works.
perfect. Well, with that, don't forget to do all the stereotypical YouTube things, and don't forget to follow our lovely guests on all social media platforms. If you have any questions for our lovely guest, put them in the comment section below. We'll ask the appropriate questions. We haven't had any inappropriate yet, but gotta say it just in case. But yeah, I hope you all have a nice rest of your day, and at least I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.